What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Man United Talks. I'm your boy Day, as usual, and welcome back to another preview. Today we're here to preview Manchester United away at Burnley on Saturday, the 20th of January. First things first, I'm just going to say I'm not going to be able to watch the first half of this game, more than likely. If I do, then you'll know, because I'll tweet it out. If you aren't following if you aren't following me or the channel on Twitter, we do have a Twitter, link is in the description, as well as my personal Twitter. Get involved, alright? Thanks for the recent support once again. Now let's get right into it. Manchester United are playing away at Turf Moor against an out-of-form Burnley side. But before we get into that, let's talk about what Manchester United have done in recent times. We've picked up a good bit of form. We haven't lost in our last 6 games. With 2 wins and then 2 draws and then 2 wins again. We're in second, and I would say I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but if we keep up the run we're on, then it will be comfortable, you know. Some good news in the fact of last weekend. That didn't sound right. Some good news happened last weekend in the fact that Liverpool beat Manchester City. They have been exposed, and now there's a blueprint for the whole of the Premier League to go just absolutely demolish them. Only problem is that they're playing Newcastle, who, I mean, they could turn up and shut it down. But Newcastle are going to be away to City, and, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But once again, I'm still talking about City. I don't want to. But let's talk about what happened when we played Stoke. We played Stoke, and we won 3-0. Looked very comfortable and happy. I was content with the way we played, the result. Only 2 problems I had with the Stoke game, because you always want to improve. And 3-0 is like the perfect scoreline. You want a clean sheet, you know, you get a few goals, but you can always improve. And the 2 places I think we need to improve are, 1, delivery. We deliver a lot of crosses, but the quality of the crossing needs to improve. And maybe the running also needs to improve. There's a lot of times where Luke Shaw gets down the byline, or to the byline, sorry, and he whips the ball in. But Lukaku is just not at the near post. He will be waiting right in the middle, expecting the ball to get to the middle this time. I feel like he needs to go to that near post and get the flick on. That's what great strikers do. That's what the likes of Ronaldo does. Messi's capable of it. Suarez got tons of goals at Liverpool that way. You got to get to the near post, and I'm not seeing enough of that from Lukaku. He's just expecting the ball to beat everyone and for him to tap it in. And I think these are Jose's instructions, because first of all, my problem with Lukaku is the fact that he's not playing the way he played at Everton. And when I say that, I don't mean how good he's playing, because he's got, 19 goals, 17 goals this season. My problem is we're not using him the way he was used at Everton. We're using him in set pieces to score, which is what Everton did. But his biggest threat, if you remember watching Everton last season, was Lukaku on the counter-attack. And generally, he would be on the counter. It would be a ball out from the midfield, probably from Barkley. And Balassi would be running forward. Morales. Sometimes Barkley would even be running forward. And they'd be gunning for the defense. And he would either take on someone and pass the ball off and go back in the middle, or just anything of the nature. But to me, he looks so lost, and he doesn't look like he has a real place. I feel like Mourinho's just, and I don't know what Mourinho's instructions are, but I feel like sometimes he's just there to try to, he's just there sometimes. And he's not playing bad by any stretch of the imagination. He doesn't do much wrong. But I feel like we could be getting better out of him, you know? And it probably comes from the fact that we're not playing the 4-3-3, you know? Although if you've heard of Statman Dave, I don't know, he did point out the fact that Lingard is kind of playing in the other midfield position in a 4-3-3. And it's kind of looking like Matic is sitting deep behind Lingard and Pogba. And while that is something you could see, if you watch the game, it's just, I think I kind of went off track just then. I'm pretty sure I did. My point was that you're going to get the best out of Lukaku in a 4-3-3 because you're going to get the counter-attacking football that you need to be successful. And I'm not seeing enough of it. For him, if we want the best out of Lukaku, yes, Pogba is our best player. And it just makes sense to play the 4-3-3 because you're going to get the best out of Pogba and you're going to get the best out of Lukaku. Lukaku thrives off of wingers. And that's another problem, is that we just don't have wingers who are just going to straight up and down cross the ball. That just goes simply down to the fact that there are no natural wingers left in football. You just play tons of inverted wingers. Mata plays on the right, cuts in on the left. Martial or Rashford play on the left, cut into the right, into the middle, and Lukaku doesn't get that crossing, When he played at Everton, he had the likes of Aaron Lennon, Barkley would even play on the right sometimes, and they would cross the ball in. Leighton Baines would whip balls in, and it just worked. But even Morales, Deulofeu, that's the man I'm thinking of. Deulofeu was the key to Romelu Lukaku's success back when he was at Everton. The delivery that Deulofeu had to put in the ball for Lukaku, that was the key to all Lukaku's success. That was another pacey, an actual winger who played on the right and crossed the ball into Lukaku. And we don't have that. Every time we break on the counter, we have to cut back and wait for a cross from Mata, or we have to cut back and watch Martial dribble. No one is crossing the ball to Lukaku, and yes, the fullbacks can do that, and I have no problem with the fullbacks doing it, but we need people who are going to actually cross the ball to Lukaku when we're breaking, rather than having to cut inside and play the ball through the channel, and that just slows everything down. Then Lukaku's offside, and it just gets boring, doesn't it? It just gets really, really boring. That's why I would love to see Alexis Sanchez play on the right. He can cross the ball. He's got a good delivery as well. And that's why I would have liked to see Perisic, because he doesn't really have a weak foot. He can cross the ball in with either foot, and he's got good delivery. Regardless, I've just talked way too long about our problems. So let's flip over to Burnley. Let's talk about Burnley for a little bit before I give you my lineup and all that jazz. Burnley, like I said in the beginning of the preview, have hit a bit of a rough patch. While they still sit in 7th, they have not won in the last 5. And they've lost 3 of the last 5, in fact. We all remember the battering they got at home to Spurs, which is something I hope we can replicate, and they lost most recently to Palace away. You gotta kind of feel bad for them in a sense, because I like Burnley and I respect Burnley, as I've made that known several times before. But I want to go beat them bad, man. We need to get back on the clinical train and take our chances. Mind you, we were quite clinical at home to Stoke, and I enjoyed what we did. But Burnley are gonna they want a result, and they need to turn up. Truth be told, they need to come and show up and do what they need to do. Like I said, they haven't won in 5, but they still sit in 7th, which is fair play to them. When you're not winning in 5 and you still sit in 7th place, it's quite decent. And they have a 3-point gap between them and 8th, and I believe Leicester is in 8th. Yeah, but that's quite interesting. So, as for Burnley, we all know they got danger, man, and the likes of Sam Vokes, who's really been kind of put on the back burner this season. Sam Vokes been put on the back burner a bit. Ashley Barnes, quality forward, scores any type of goal you need him to, really. Gudmundsson, underrated player. I'm a big fan of him. Icelandic beast. He holds a record for Burnley, which is the most assists in the Premier League for their club. And you wouldn't guess the number. You really wouldn't guess. The number is 7. That's crazy. 7 assists for the whole season. I mean, not for the whole season. For the history of the club, that's the most assists a player has in the club history in the Premier League. That's quite mad. Yeah, but apart from him, they got Robbie Brady, who I believe is still injured though, so that's kind of irrelevant. But their defensive partnership is back in action in Tarkowski and Ben Mee. That's a good partnership. And then Nick Pope's in goal. I believe Tom Heaton's still injured. Nick Pope, good player, tall, lanky dude, quite like De Gea in a sense. But he's young, and he's doing bits for them as well. But apart from that, I don't really know much about Burnley. Defoe, gotta watch out for him. Don't let him score any more free kicks, please. Don't need that. He's a quality player as well, but he's probably their best player in terms of what keeps them ticking and moving. He's probably the most influential in the way they play. Well, apart from that, I'm not really bothered. They got a young Bermudian in the names of... Not young. He's not young anymore. Bermudian in the name of Nicky Wells, who they signed from Huddersfield. Quite good. Quite fast. Big fan of him. Good dude. Anyway, let's get onto the lineups. And let's talk about how we're going to go about this game. I just realized we've hit 11 minutes and I haven't even talked about the team yet. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. Let's get to it. If you're still watching, by the way, drop a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, so in that, we've gone with Big Dave. No explanation needed. Full back line of Valencia, Jones, Smalling, and Shaw. And then a midfield three of Matic, Pogba, and Fellaini. And a front three of Martial, Lukaku, and Lingard. Now, I've gone with Fellaini simply for the fact that Burnley are a physical side, and they like to put the ball up to their tall forwards and their target men. While I have no problem with the way they play, I mean with the way our team has been playing recently, Chris Smalling is quite often dragged out of position by the target man, and there's space left in front of our defense, which left Ireland open quite a few times to take shots. Shaqiri had quite a few shots, not quite a few, but there were opportunities opened up because Chris Smalling was getting dragged out of position. And if Fellaini is allowed, or I would like to see him man marking the target man, and or if Smalling is man marking, then have an extra defensive player in front just to clean up shop, because Matic was not doing it against Stoke, and yeah, simple as that. But that's what happens when you play midfield too. And then, sad to say, but I've ended Mata's run in the team. I just feel like if we're gonna play a 4-3, wouldn't mind seeing Mata on the right, but Lingard is in the form of his career, and I think he should continue out wide, or in the team in general. As for Martial, he's playing well. He scored in the last couple games, so keep him playing. Lukaku scored, so keep him in the team. Everyone else speaks for themselves. But the only problem, or the only thing I think we should improve on, like I said, is the fact that Smalling left so many gaps against Stoke. It was a wonder we didn't concede, although we do have the best goalkeeper in the game. And when I say the game, I mean football. And that was obvious, so why did I say that? Anyway, yeah, guys, I don't know much else what to tell you. Videos got quite long. Let me know what you guys think we should do, how we should approach this game. I just think 4-3 is the way forward, especially if we get Alexis Sanchez. Mind you, I think we could pull off a 4-2-3-1 with Alexis Sanchez if he played on the right. You know, he's a player who's played on the right for Barcelona. I said this in my transfer review, I believe. He's a player who played on the right for Barca, Udinese. He's done it for Arsenal as well. And he can play all across the midfield and even at striker if need be. So I'm down to see whatever he wants to do and how he's going to approach anything. Much love to Sanchez. Please come. If Mickey stays, I'd be more than happy. But honestly, I think his race has been run. And it's sad to say, but unless he picks it up, man, I mean, the guy has put on some good performances, and we still have not seen the best of Mkhitaryan. But it is what it is. Hopefully, Sanchez will be announced soon. But it is too late for him to be registered to play Burnley, so Such is life. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the Manchester United versus Burnley preview. I will see you guys with a review, might be a live review, tomorrow around, what would it be, 5 p.m. GMT. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. It's been your boy Day. It's been Man United Talks. Deuces, baby.